We love all of Disney's new rides, but there are some classics that we can't experience anymore. At least not in the way they used to be. We're digging into 5 of them today on RTT. So let's remember that time that Disney ditched its wildest rides.
Oh, I'm sorry, hold on. You thought I wasn't gonna wear this?
Captain EO was a short film.
A 3D, maybe even 4D cosmic adventure. So you put on glasses and watched an intergalactic music video that was sort of like Star Wars.
It felt like a cross between a chorus line and something else really cool.
To this day, the best Disney show 3D, 4D extravaganza.
I have seen clips of it online. I never saw Captain EO in person.
I saw Captain EO on its return when it came back in the late 2000s, early teens.
I saw Captain EO many times before it went away, after it went away, as a child.
Captain EO himself is one Michael Jackson, the king of pop.
Captain EO came out in '86, 2 years after Michael Jackson had such a hit with Thriller. Everybody wanted a new album from Michael, and he was like, and he couldn't get Spielberg, so he got George Lucas to produce this.
Directed by Francis Ford Coppola.
Okay. Francis Ford Coppola is probably best known for The Godfather. Leave the gun, take the cannolis.
Also, Angelica Houston's in it.
Can you imagine? It's the 80s and they're like, we got Michael Jackson, we got Angelica Houston, I'm George Lucas, this is my BFF Francis Ford Coppola, and we're making a thing.
So the plot of Captain EO, as I recall.
Michael Jackson is in space.
He was like Peter Pan, like in space.
Captain EO and his ragtag band of misfits. You want to call them Jim Henson Muppets?
Something that looks like a monkey butterfly.
It's like a double Alf.
And an elephant, like a short elephant. There's like a boss guy who comes in.
Don't mess this up again. And Michael's like, yes sir, I won't. I promise I'll get it.
At one part he says, Hooter!
And Hooter is really the star of the show, I thought.
They crash land on a planet. It's like a trash planet. Like it looks like Oscar the Grouch's paradise.
And then at another part he says, Hooter!
Hooter!
Hooter.
Hooter!
Hooter!
I'm Michael Jackson. I'm here to save the aliens.
He goes to see Angelica Houston.
Why have you come? To deliver a gift, Your Highness, to someone as beautiful as you. You think me beautiful? Beautiful on the inside, Your Highness, but without a key to unlock it. And that is my gift to you. So, let me see this gift. Not only see, Your Highness, but hear.
We are here to change the deep down in my body, deep down in my soul, baby.
We are here to change the world.
We are here to change the world.
We are here to save change the world. We're gonna change the world. Oh!
No.
Then they dance.
I'm standing out a ray of love, and this is my message to you. It's something that give it to you. It's just another part of me.
A lot of crotch thrusting.
Lots of hip thrusting is involved.
And there's so many times where he goes, and everybody does it with them, and you can't believe that that Disney let that many stay in.
And then later he does say, Hooter!
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 Hooter, you're so silly. Leave that alone.
Hooter for president. Can we just have Hooter be president?
I imagine Captain EO was pretty expensive.
It was the most expensive movie per minute at the time. $1.7 million every minute.
For every minute?
Dang.
But it also kind of looks like it cost $18 to make.
It did look fancy.
We've been talking for about a minute and I have not made $1.7 million. So what's up with that is my question.
How many millions per hip thrust?
I think Captain EO is best in a museum. I'm glad we had it when we did.
Captain EO was a quick glimpse into what it would have been like if Michael Jackson started movies.
Michael Jackson's Space Puppets.
Honestly, like, there were some parts of Captain EO that were a more interesting space story than Star Wars. I mean, Hooter over Jar Jar Binks every day.
I left a changed person. Like, I was here to change the world, and I could make a change.
And take off my Captain EO jacket. Ugh, that made me more sweaty.
I've been like wanting to talk about this one forever.
Oh, it's just so good. I'm putting my hat on. Oh, I love this ride so much. Oh, it's crazy. This ride is actually insane.
Mr. Toad's Wild Ride was an opening day attraction at Disney World and Disneyland, and it was a dark ride themed after The Wind and the Willows.
Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, I just want to know who was all there in conception of this ride?
Took you on the story of Mr. Toad.
And it got crazy.
He goes to hell at the end.
That said, I adore it very much.
Hold on. We go to a manufactured hell.
I like it. She's like short and sweet.
For such a short ride, it made a big impact on my life.
My mom, whenever we did something wrong, would take us on Mr. Toad.
Mr. Toad's Wild Ride is a cautionary tale to children about what happens when you break the law, but you're not really sure how you broke it. And then you go to court, and apparently you're found guilty for something that's sort of ambiguous. And then before you can get to jail, you get hit by a train and go to hell.
And then my mom would say, this is where you're going to end up if you don't do your chores. This is where you're gonna end up if you don't eat your vegetables. Talk back to me one more time. Who does that?
Fear has struck me.
Oh, I can explain the plot of Mr. Toad. It's extremely clear.
Well,
Is there a plot to the Mr. Toad ride is the better question.
Basically, you're driving in a car, I think through London.
Go on a ride to nowhere in particular with J. Thaddeus Toad,
Then you go get a beer.
with Mr. Winky.
Beer, he's twirling around on his hands.
So maybe the suggestion is that you're now drunk driving.
and there's some like tense relationships or something happening in there.
Another wrong turn through some bushes, and the cardboard bushes are just...
And then you get arrested by a cop, but he doesn't read you his rights. He just...
Then the train, then you die,
Wait, did we die?
and then hell.
Then you see a giant devil-looking demon with a finger. He comes out, and that finger has an acrylic black nail, and he's pointing with those nails he just got done.
And then it's over, and you're like, what just happened?
Now that I'm even talking about it, I'm gonna need therapy for that. Do you guys cover that?
2 thumbs up.
Mr. Toad Attraction is the best ride that's ever been in a Disney park, period. So if you ask me if it's appropriate, 100% the answer is yes, even in its complete and utter lunacy.
Yeah, I think it was appropriate for kids. I don't know about the going to hell part.
I would imagine there were a lot of parents who went on that and they're like, what did I just take my kid on?
Feels right. Feels right.
I think that the Mr. Toad attraction is appropriate for Halloween Horror Nights, because just stick that right on in there with some of the Blumhouse features, and I think you'll be okay.
Are you appropriate for a Disney park?
You know, the 50s were a different time.
They were in a hurry, you know. They're like, July 17th is coming up. Send them to hell. That'll wrap it up real nicely in a bow.
Kids gotta know about hell.
Mom, Dad, what's hell? Mr. Toad went to hell. Why? A lot of uncomfortable conversations after Mr. Toad.
Mr. Toad's Wild Ride closed in Magic Kingdom and was replaced by The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh.
I'd rather take Pooh and his honey pot and Heffalumps and Woozles and Tigger bouncing around than the fear of hell any day.
If you listen really closely in the Huffalumps and Woozles scene, you can hear the screams of the damned.
I would be crushed if Mr. Toad's Wild Ride closed in Disneyland.
I would be devastated.
My heart would be ripped out of my chest and stomped on as if doing a dance on a tile floor.
Unacceptable. No, we gotta keep sunset. We can't all be new.
My essence would be lost. I would not be a complete person.
Mr. Toad is kind of a cult classic. Like, diehard Disney fans love Mr. Toad.
If this isn't clear, I love Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. It is the sole reason I moved to California, was to be closer to this ride so that I could go to Disneyland and go through the adventure in Thaddeus Toad's Hall.
Hard to see, but look first, look to your left. Look to your left side first, up on the hill.
I am not ready to talk about Kilimanjaro Safaris.
Kilimanjaro Safari, 1998.
The flagship attraction at Disney's Animal Kingdom, where you board a safari truck and you actually go around the reserve and see wild animals like lions and elephants and hippos and rhinos and crocodiles.
It also used to have a very heavy-handed poaching plot to go alongside them.
Safari is lit either way.
So they set the ride up. When you're in line, you see all these posters that say, beware of the poachers, report the poachers.
You are on like a regular chill out like African safari in Harambe, and you're on the reserve and you're seeing all these animals and it's really cool, but like, oh no, something is afoot and it's poachers. Poachers are afoot.
You were told over and over again that the poachers were out there and that the poachers were bad.
Hello, there is poachers in the area. Be careful, watch out.
Lo and behold, you've gotten caught up in this.
Which happens a lot at Disney rides. Why are they always like enlisting random tourists to do important things? Like Dinosaur? They're literally like, come on, you guys can time travel, you know what you're doing. No, I don't.
I got a driver who was really into it. And I remember she was like,
Oh no, the bad guys. Should we save the baby elephant? Hooray, we did it.
Alrighty now, if you notice right here on your right, my left, you're going to see the okapi. That's pronounced okapi. It looks like a zebra on the back. Look out, they're poachers!
The thing I remember the most from the old version of Kilimanjaro Safaris is that nightmare bridge.
The bridge, I remember the bridge.
The rickety bridge moment is still there, but it's just like your standard bridge.
I remember the bridge the most, which I think is a lot of people's answer.
Bridge is held up with duct tape and a prayer, so let's hope we make it. And then you stop halfway across the bridge and the bridge actually drops out and the whole truck shakes like this a bunch of times.
Whoa!
The bridge was the best part of Kilimanjaro Safaris. I know how I sound, okay? I know.
Which is, at a certain point, your tour guide would just be like, let's turn on the local radio station. Like, let's see what's up, you guys. I always thought to myself, like, these animals who are in this area right here must be like, you gotta change the station, guys. Cruel.
A lot of people don't realize this because it was very short-lived, but in addition to the poaching scene where you saved animatronic baby elephant Little Red, a lot of people don't realize that initially there was a dead Big Red animatronic.
Wait, what? Dead mom?
Big Red wasn't so lucky. Chewing gum wasn't really lucky either, because nobody really chews Big Red anymore, do they? Anyway.
Yeah, I don't think that's the place for that.
Oh, did we go too far? We went too far with the dead mom baby elephant? That's not what people liked about Bambi.
And then they ended up taking that out at the dead mom animatronic, and it took out the cast member holding an actual gun.
Like a literal, I'm sure it was fake, but it was a gun, y'all.
Yes, I'm not kidding. I would like to talk specifically to Joe Rohde.
Joe Rohde and his earring were the main designers of Disney's Animal Kingdom, the theme park in general. So of course he had a very, very big part of designing Kilimanjaro Safaris.
We got him. It's all good. We got the poachers.
Why?
He and his earring. That's where he gets all his power.
Where is the dead mom carcass figure? Is it in a warehouse? Like in pieces next to the Christmas ornaments?
Where's the dead mom at?
Only on eBay. If we look right now, we might find it.
The poaching, the original version of Kilimanjaro Safaris was a little bit childhood ruining. I learned about poaching real young.
And I want to say I understand at the time, it's a little known fact that in the late 90s, ivory jewelry was very attractive to children. And children all over the world were turning to their mothers and going, "Mommy, I want that cameo."
I mean, I see why they added a storyline, because Disney's all about story.
But I'm very, very glad they got rid of the poaching storyline, because as I said, the most thrilling thing you can do is see an actual lion or an actual elephant or cheetah or hyena or giraffe.
That's enough. It should be enough.
I don't really need thrill rides with my animal rides. Like, let's keep them separate.
Keep your eggs poached and not your Kilimanjaro Safari.
I'm upset about the bridge.
6 or 7 females to a pride. There's the male.
Snow White's Scary Adventure was an opening day dark ride at Disneyland in Walt Disney World, and it took you through the story of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
You were Snow White and you got to travel through her scary adventures.
And you kept popping into this scary witch.
It is very witch focused.
People didn't really understand that you were supposed to be Snow White, so it basically just seemed like nightmare fuel.
Snow White's Scary Adventure is the most terrifying thing to ever come to any amusement park.
I did go on Snow White as a kid, and I was horrified.
I like it. It is mad scary though.
At Disney World, I remember it literally terrifying me as a child. But since then, I've gone on it as a grown adult in Disneyland, and I gotta say, still terrifying.
It was not always called Snow White's Scary Adventure.
My instincts tell me it was called Snow White's Adventures, and they got letters.
That's some liability right there. That's some liability.
People were like, this is scary. You're scaring my children. And Walt was like, okay, Scary Adventures, how's that?
I'm glad that they added the scary part before I was born, because if I hadn't been warned that it was Snow White's Scary Adventures, I would have been very shocked.
Snow White's Scary Adventure tells the story of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the beloved Disney classic. You start with the beautiful murals and the wishing well, and Snow White's there at the wishing well, and it's so lovely.
You go in and you see Snow White and she's drawing water from the well and she's like,
I'm wishing for the one I love.
princess sounds that she makes.
And you're like, oh, this is delightful. This is delightful.
We're going to the Snow White story. That's fun.
And then things make a turn for the worse, and when they get bad, they get bad.
Because the witch comes back and tries to murder you.
I mean, Snow White's like 14 years old and her stepdaughter, and she was very ready to kill her just because the magic mirror said she was prettier. Like, that person is insane.
I don't know what I think the reason it was scariest was it wasn't like a moving animatronic. It was basically like a mannequin from a store that was dressed up like a nightmare.
And this is before audio animatronics existed, so they're just like figures on motors, but somehow they are so scary.
There's something about original 1970s Disney effects that really makes things scarier when they're effective.
Particularly the part where the witch is like looking in the mirror.
And you're just like, hi, yeah, you're not that bad. And then she turns around. All hell breaks loose.
And then also the scene at the end when the witch is on top of the mountain and she's gonna drop a boulder on you and she's cackling.
And you're like, okay, girl, you just being extra, okay? Calm down, it's not that bad.
And then she dies herself. The end. Have a nice day.
No, I don't think that Snow White was appropriate for Disney Park.
Yes. Sorry, little children. We warned you, you know?
Told you.
You get to make the decision. Like, oh, this is scary. What do you think, Timothy? No, you don't want to ride it? Okay, we'll try next year. I don't know what Timothy's experience is going to be, but I think he should have the option.
If Mr. Toad is appropriate for a Disney park, Snow White's Scary Adventures is appropriate for a Disney park.
At this point, Snow White has been in Disneyland for so long that it would be a bummer for it to close.
We gotta keep that one too. Sorry about it. Sorry, Timothy. We're gonna keep Snow White's Scary Adventures.
Oh God, what would they even replace it with? Fancy Nancy's Wild Ride!
I was okay actually with it being removed from Walt Disney World, but I think the connection with it being the original film and it being the original ride makes it too much for me.
Snow White's Scary Adventure is a hidden nightmare, and Disney World is expensive enough without having to pay for therapy for your children because the witch was trying to kill them, so.
Someday I'll need therapy. And that's Snow White's Scary Adventures.
On the wall. With this disguise, I'll fool them all.
I can cause accidents too!
Oh, rubbish. You have no power here. Be gone before somebody drops a house on you, too.
Welcome aboard. At this time, I'd like to ask you to put your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the car as we go through the movies.
The Great Movie Ride was the centerpiece attraction in Hollywood Studios, originally MGM Studios, when it opened, and it was
A trip through the movies.
And it was located inside the Chinese theater, and it was a 22-minute ride through the movies, and you rode a slow-moving vehicle, and it took you through scenes of movies like Indiana Jones and Wizard of Oz and Casablanca and Mary Poppins, and it ended with a beautiful montage.
There was also some drama in the middle.
Putting you in the action.
I just miss it so much.
You know what? We talk a big game about immersion nowadays with like Pandora and Galaxy's Edge. We're like, oh, they're the most immersive thing ever. Great Movie Ride was immersive.
The plot of it,
Is there a plot to the Great Movie Ride?
you would be guided through the movies by a cast member.
Guess what? This is the perfect job for them because they love the movies.
Go in and it's like Busby Berkeley, and then Tarzan is in it. Tarzan's in that ride.
Casablanca.
He's looking at you, kid. He's looking at you, kid. He's looking at you, kid.
When you get to the gangster scene or the cowboy scene, your car is actually overtaken by a bad guy.
Abducted by either an old Western outlaw or a gangster.
Like another live actor cast member would come in and they would commandeer the ship from your friendly movie tour guide.
As an actor, I always wanted to have this job. I was like, I would be so good at this.
The Old West Robert would come up and be like, hey, stick those hands up.
There is not room for the two of us around these parts. What is that thing? It's the xenomorph. What is that thing?
Get out of here, rascal! You god! You better run off, snake! You better cover me, the coppers are here!
That's my cowboy. Here's my gangster.
Hey guys, you see? I'm Muggsy, you see? I'm gonna take over this vehicle, you see? Scram!
I'm taking over, see? And they're like, no, I can't. They're like, see? I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't think you want to be around this side of town there, chickadee. History.
And then when you get to the Indiana Jones scene,
Stops the tram, climbs up the stairs, and is reaching for the gym. And then bang! It's cursed! It's booby-trapped! Person dude gets turned into a skeleton and left in the tomb.
you watch a cast member get murdered.
Is this how it was supposed to be?
And the animatronic that was carving hieroglyphics into the wall and warned them about touching the jewel turns around and it's your cast member here to save the day.
It's me, Jennifer. I am here to save the day. Let's see The Wizard of Oz, another not Disney movie.
And I'm hype because I just got rescued. Everyone wants to feel like a damsel in distress.
And then your tour guide would come back and sail you through the rest of that ride right to the best part, the montage. I think Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is a very cute attraction, and I don't think it got enough credit because I think a lot of people were really mad that it replaced the Great Movie Ride.
I also love riding any new Disney attraction because of the technological advancements that they pump into every ride. It's very cool if you're a loser. So that's what I'm excited about. However,
I have kind of mixed emotions about it replacing Great Movie Ride because I feel like that was such a perfect fit.
I think that they should have just made a new one with new movies.
The best case scenario would have been Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway going somewhere else, and then the Great Movie Ride getting refurbished and updated, breathing new life into that classic.
All the rides today are relics of the past, right? They were once maybe the best thing at the parks.
They do all have sort of that old Disney charm, even if that charm is a little scarring sometimes.
I would say the one thing that they all have in common is terror and sad emotion.
Like Walt always said, you know, the park Disneyland will always be changing. Disney World will always be changing. And I think, you know, we have to let go of some things.
If I had to pick one of these rides to bring back,
It'd have to be between Captain EO and the Great Movie Ride.
I bring back Great Movie Ride. Not necessarily at the expense of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, but I bring back Great Movie Ride.
I bet you think I'm gonna say Mr. Toad's. My essence would be lost. I would not be a complete person if Mr. Toad's Wild Ride closed in Disneyland. Mr. Toad's is still around. I would pick Great Movie Ride.
The Great Movie Ride is the one that I would want to bring back, but honestly, I miss them all. Like, these are classic Disney attractions that I would happily go on any of them if they came back.
I have art. Look at my art. This is Toad Hall. I wish my home was Toad Hall. Oh, I'm so excited. This is Thaddeus Toad. He's really the only one you need to know because it's his hall. This right here, this is his hall, Toad Hall. Have you seen Toad Hall? Cali River Rapids. Get it out of here.
Hey everybody, it's Molly. Morgan and I are so excited about this new show, so if you enjoyed it, make sure to like and subscribe. You can also click over here for a playlist of every RTT episode. Or you want more AllEars? Click over here for a video of me doing every single opening day attraction in the Magic Kingdom. Thanks for watching!